What's good, everybody? Grind and Shine Recovery. I'm here with Alan Greenson from Sober Powerlifting. He's going to share a little bit about his path to recovery with us. So, Alan, what got you down the road of addiction to start with?
Hello, everybody. The longer I stay sober, I've been sober, by the way, for almost 6 years now. I got sober January 11th of 2015. I was locked up. But anyways, yeah, I'll get into that later. But the longer I'm sober, and what I realized that the drugs and alcohol is just a symptom of my underlying problem, which was me. Yeah. I was always an outcast as growing up. I got bullied. I was a social outcast, so a lot of it was my fault. I would I would start like fights with like 5 people that were older than me, and then get my ass kicked.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I never fit in anywhere, and the first time I drank was in the summer after 8th grade. I went with my sister. She was an AFS student, American Field Service student in Belgium. And she met this guy in Montreal, and we went and visited him for the week. And the first time I really got drunk was they had a arrival party for us, and they had they were French Canadians, and there was no limit on how much I could drink. It was the first time I drank, really, and they had wine, and I just kept drinking wine, and I felt like I fit in for the first time at that party. I could dance good, and I could talk. And on the flip side of that, I drank so much wine. They just remodeled their house, and they had white carpeting, and I remember white carpeting. It was a long time ago, but I still remember the white carpeting. And at the end of the night, I got the bed spins, and I threw up red wine all over their brand new white carpet.
Oh man!
So from drinking experience, it didn't go good. I could have, if I had seen it then, it might have stopped a world of hurt for many years to come.
Yeah. Now you say so. Did that help? Did that encourage you to keep drinking? Like, that it helped you fit in. It made you feel more comfortable in your own skin.
Yes, absolutely. I kind of I still remember the throwing up, but I really remembered my mind. The built-in forgetter of getting sick was there, where I just remember the good part of it, how I fit in, and I continued on. I picked up marijuana. Not too long after that, like a few months after that. And I just drank mostly on the weekends back then, but every time it was a blackout. Drugs is definitely a big part of my story.
So,
go ahead.
I guess, when did it start becoming a part, affecting your older life, your life as an adult?
Pretty much my whole adult life. When did it start, though? Yeah, it really started big time. I'd have to say the worst. Like the worst, you mean? The worst of the worst?
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the low points, just because.
It's where living in a place, Southern Illinois. I'm originally from a town called Fairhaven, Massachusetts. But anyways, I was in Southern Illinois. Long story how I got there. Followed a girl. There were what doesn't work geographical cures also that I thought I could get by going there. But anyways,
yeah,
living in Southern Illinois with warrants in 2 different counties, homeless, living in the woods, showering at the local homeless shelter. This is in a town called Carbondale, Illinois. Anyways, I was homeless there. Eating at the soup kitchen there. That was definitely a low point. The low point, there were so many of them, Jeff. There was so many low points. It's hard to, it's just so many. There was a decade of low points for me for using.
I hear you there. I hear you. So, did you face I heard a little bit of what you shared the other day in one of your videos. What type of incarceration and what did it do to you as far as have you had to be locked up due to your addiction? I
Yes,
know you shared getting sober while you're locked up. So
yep. Yeah, that's very important. Getting locked up saved my life. Most people would probably look at me like I'm crazy, but someone that's an alcoholic or an addict would understand. Definitely.
it's what it took for me. So I get you.
Um, the longest stretch I did was almost 11 months. I got caught. My house was being watched. We were making methamphetamine in the house. It wasn't a big meth lab. We did it a couple of times, made it, but I was smoking meth. I did meth for about 6 months, and the police. It was a small town in Illinois, and the police were watching, and they finally they came in, and they came in first. They wanted me to give up all these names, and I wouldn't give up anybody. And the detective in the town, a small town called Olney, Illinois, he said to me, he goes, "I'll be back, and when I come back, you're going to be leaving in handcuffs." And he wasn't lying, because 2 months later, I was leaving that house in handcuffs. They raided me. They found, luckily, there was nothing in there really big, but they found, and they charged me with under 5 grams of methamphetamine, which is a class 3 felony. And
Yeah.
still,
So they weren't able to they weren't able to get you for manufacturing though.
No.
You didn't have it up there for that. Awesome. That's a good thing.
He thought what we were doing, and he said that I was lucky I wasn't getting busted by the feds and all this, which he was probably right.
Yeah, no, they don't play. I mean, they where I live, they definitely monitor the sale of Sudafed and all that. They definitely keep a close eye on that.
Totally.
Now was that what led to you getting sober? That time getting locked up?
That was part of it. I didn't get sober right off the rip. I ended up doing 5 months in a county jail, and then I got what's called first time felon probation.
Okay.
Had I stayed good, I wouldn't have a record or anything. But I didn't. I never did meth again after that. But I continued to drink and take pills, and that doesn't work when you're on real super probation. I was
They don't play. No, they don't. There was a period of time I was on felony probation, and it actually helped me learn how to be outside and be sober, because I didn't want to go back to prison, so that supervision in a way helped me, learn how to live with, it helped encourage me. It was a start, I'll say that at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it should have helped me, probably because I hadn't been locked up for a real long time before that. And I continued to drink, and I got arrested 2 more times out there for misdemeanors for stealing alcohol out of a liquor store. I got cheap vodka or something. I tried to steal and got caught twice, and that didn't even violate. I don't know why in Illinois. I think if it was in here, Massachusetts, I would have gone right back. I would have got. They would have, but not there.
Yeah, you were lucky. You were lucky on that one. So, what was the turning point? I guess that's the next thing I want to ask you. Where was the turning point for you?
I had another warrant for writing a bad check, and then I had the violation of probation because I absconded from that case there, the methamphetamine. I was living like 2 hours away, and I absconded. I wasn't going to probation or nothing or calling anybody. I pretty much disappeared, so I had the warrant for that. And I was living in this small, sleazy motel in this small town, drinking myself to death, pretty much, drinking as much alcohol as I could possibly buy, me and this ex-girlfriend of mine. And we got into an argument one night, and the police came, and this place called West Frankfort, Illinois. The police came, and I told them right off the rip, I said, look, I got warrants in 2 counties. I was honest with them. They were actually pretty cool. No bad experiences with those. The cops actually let me have one more shot of vodka in
Really?
this little redneck town. Yep. They let me have a shot of vodka. They let me smoke. They let me smoke outside. They knew I knew I was. They said, "You've been very cooperative. You know, we'll." I couldn't believe it, but anyways, I went to jail there, and I knew I was going to have to go to 2 different counties, and then I was going to face the last county I was facing the felony, the class 3 felony, and I was going to do some time, and I had enough. I just had enough was enough. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, like they say, sick of being homeless, sick of going in and out of every county I lived in, every place I lived in. I was in their jail system all the time. Tired of that. I hated myself. I thought of myself as a low piece of crap, which I probably was. You know, I was pretty much. You know, I just got tired of being a loser. I was 46 years old, and I had nothing at all. And when I went in, I made it. I said, I'm gonna try to turn this thing around. I don't know. I thought it might be too late because I had tried several times. I had 4 times in the past where I had 1 year but less than 2 years of sobriety.
Yeah.
AA and NA.
Yeah.
Knew that the program pretty much worked because I've seen it work for other people, and I was going to give it one more shot when I was incarcerated there. When I finally got sentenced, I got sentenced to 3 years for the methamphetamine. And what I was told, because it was a nonviolent crime in Illinois, you do half your time. So that was a year and a half I was looking at. They gave me credit for the 5 months that I was in the county jails. They gave me credit for that. And then I also went into a program there, a drug and alcohol behavioral program. And that took off time. So I ended up doing 11 months on the 3 years. And during that whole time, I had made up my mind that I was going to give they had a meeting, by the way, in prison, and I went to as many as I could, 3 a week. But anyways, I had made my life around. And that's where when I in prison, they had weights that were all welded together. They had a big yard. It was a minimum security. And that's when I started lifting weights again, pretty much, because I had lifted a little bit as a youngster, you know.
Yeah.
Years of alcohol and drugs. But anyways, I always liked it as a kid, you know, lifting, and I decided I was going to do it. And I started getting pretty strong, pretty quick for an older guy. And that became an outlet for me. That became an outlet, a hobby. It's very important, I think, that someone that gets sober find something they like to do, you know, to keep them busy.
I'm so glad you touched on that. And so has that been a huge part of your recovery? You know, tying the working out in with your recovery and the 12 steps. Do you feel that's helped you?
Yes, absolutely. I actually, when I got out of prison, I didn't have money to go to a gym or anything, and I went to a halfway house. But I was doing calisthenics in my room every day.
Yeah.
All kinds of, you know, pull-ups, push-ups, whatever. And I was getting myself ready for that gym. I was getting my body ready. And as soon as I got out, I joined the gym. And I wasn't really into powerlifting right away. I just was getting, you know, did a little routine or whatever. And it's absolutely 100% my medication. It takes care of my anxiety. I finally got into powerlifting. I met a guy named Chris N. We go to a meeting together. He's a big time powerlifter, one of the strongest guys in my area, the New Bedford area, probably the strongest guy. He did a 495 pause bench like it was nothing at the last meet for the 40-year-old record.
You've had a lot of success with this as well, right? I know you shared a little in one of your videos some of the success you've had with your age class in your bracket, you know.
Yeah, I'm ranked number 2 for Revolution Powerlifting, which is a big federation all over the United States and North America. I'm number 2 in the bench. I'm number 2 on deadlift and number 3 overall. And I'm going for it to get up to that top spot real hard.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, though, man. That's awesome. Now, what's life like now for you? That's what I like to always hit on. What's life like now? Living living right, having recovery. What's it like now?
It's pretty much amazing. I mean, I have my bad points, but if I compare it, when I got out, I had nothing but the shirt on my back, and that was given to me by the prison system in Illinois.
Yeah,
And 20
just the state clothes, huh?
the state closed, and I had $20. That's all I had. And now I had got my license back. I drive. I was unemployable when I was out there using. I didn't work for almost a decade. I got a full-time job. Excuse me. I'm told I'm one of the best workers there. I work at a window factory. I shift. I have a house. I didn't have a house for over a decade. I lived on people's couches, jail cells, and institutions for over a decade.
No, stability of your own home is like, to me, this is the first decade in I don't know how long that I've had my own, I've been under my own roof, and I completely feel you with that. That's a huge accomplishment when you've, like you said, been homeless pretty much for a decade.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One thing, I get to sleep in a king size bed. Well, for a lot of that decade, I was sleeping with 2 or 3 guys in a room on a bunk bed.
Yeah.
It's been for a long time when you're using, you can identify with the bunk bed situation, and living in a little tiny thing the size of a small bathroom, with 3 people.
Yeah, that's definitely no way to live, and it's crazy. We get used to it, you know what I mean? As one thing, people get numb to being in situations because it's part of life,
You're right. I got used to it pretty much. I've decided to get into what they call institutionalized, I guess,
Yeah. Now, what's your support system like?
Particularly, your channel's pretty good, big on it. Your channel, Sober James, I listen to. I got the Zoom. Do some Zoom meetings, but I do a lot of live meetings. But because of the pandemic, it's kind of cut that down a little bit. But there is a 12 o'clock meeting that I attend at least 3 or 4 times. I go to a meeting probably 3 or 4 times a week. Sometimes more.
Yeah. Awesome.
Like I said, the 12 o'clock meeting across the river in New Bedford over here. That's a city that I live next to.
Awesome.
But a lot of things, unfortunately, because of the COVID, are either outside or non-existent right now.
Yeah, and that's a shame because to me, I believe that support network is so important, and I always encourage people to reach out because I know with the pandemic, it has been hard for meetings and stuff. So there's an awesome, it's called Mara, but it's a 12-step meeting on Saturday. Normally the link will be in my channel on Saturday evenings. So.
Okay, I'm going to look for that.
Yeah, check it out. It's Saturday at 7 o'clock, man. A guy named Merk does it, but it's an awesome group of people.
Mark is what I'm subscribed to, and he subscribed to mine, and I've talked to him on Discord before.
Yeah, Mark's a great guy, man.
Great guy, awesome. Yeah.
So, any words you got before we wrap everything up for anyone just trying to get their life together? Any words of encouragement or wisdom you got for them from what you've went through?
If this low bottom alcoholic and drug addict can get his crap together, anybody can. You just gotta want it. You gotta want to change, and you have to change everything.
That's facts.
Places and things. You can no longer, or I'm going to speak for I could no longer, and I realized that I could no longer hang out with people who are active alcoholics and addicts. I could not do the things I used to do. I had everything. And with God, my higher power, I call God, no problem with that. He's made a miracle here. That's about all I can say about it.
It's possible, that's for sure. Everyone, stay up and stay sober.